Picture this. You dedicate your life to your artwork. The entire time, you're ridiculed for your artistic ability and style, and only to have someone steal it from you, enter it into their own art show, meanwhile giving you no credit, and they're praised for it. You'd be pretty upset, right? Well, this, my friend, is a metaphor for cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is the adoption of something tied to a specific culture by another cultural group. Now, some of you must be asking, but what's the big deal? Why can't I wear feathers in my hair or headdresses? People are just overreacting. I mean, if anything, I'm supporting them in their culture, right? Wrong. Cultural appropriation is not the same as support. All it means is that you have no problem using someone's cultural symbols as a trend and then throwing them out like trash when you're finished with them. If you truly supported them, you'd speak up against the social injustices and stereotypes they face each day instead of just wearing their headpieces to your own benefit at Coachella as a fashion statement. When a company makes a cheap replica of a cultural symbol for profit and half the population is running around in their boho chic, hipster, earthy, cultural appropriating attire, it cheapens the achievement these symbols stand for that have been earned by others. For example, headdresses are reserved for elder Native Americans that have devoted their life. When a company makes a cheap replica of a cultural symbol and half the population's running around in their boho chic, hipster, earthy, cultural appropriating attire, it cheapens the achievement that these symbols stand for that have been earned for others. For example, headdresses are reserved for elder Native Americans who have earned their right to one by demonstrating selflessness and leadership. Even just wearing an imitation of a headdress lessens the value of what these people have devoted their lifetime to achieving. You wouldn't show off your military medal, your Nobel Prize, or your medal degree if you hadn't actually earned one, so how is this any different from, say, a Métis sash? In the absolute true diary of a part-time Indian, when Ted, the white guy, crashed his grandmother spirit's funeral and dressed what he thinks is all authentic Native American clothing and starts talking about how much he loves Indians, it makes all the Native Americans in the crowd really uneasy and uncomfortable in his presence. He made them feel like their culture was nothing more than Pokemon cards you could find and collect at random gas stations. People get offended because they're stripped of their identity by the same oppressors who shame them for practicing the exact same things they're now being praised for. There's nothing wrong with exploring different cultures. I encourage you all to do your homework and enlighten yourself about different cultures and find out what their symbols represent. You know, just find out what's appropriate, what's not, what's restricted and what's okay. Most people don't realize when they're being offensive, but people who are hurt will most likely have a hard time calling you out for it. And it's not their responsibility to tell you when you're doing something wrong. It's yours to do the research. And I'm assuming that because you're watching this video right now that you do have access to the internet, so no excuses.